If you want to hear what the 6 palettes are that you have chosen for me for the next round of Palette Roulette, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène with another video, and yes, I have 6 palettes to introduce to you, 3 eyeshadow palettes and 3 face palettes. Let's make it quick. I'm going to put the order in for this third round of reveals a little bit differently. I'm going to go by person and not by type of palette. So I'm going to give you the pairing, the duo, that each of the 3 people who contributed gave me in order. So let's get right into it and make it short and sweet. Let's go with Karen's selections. Karen answered first, and she had 2 selections. The first one for face palette was number 27, and number 27 ends up being the ambient lighting powder from Hourglass, and it looks like this on the outside, and then here on the inside are the powders themselves. There are 3 powders: dim light, incandescent light, and radiant light. Hopefully the colors are coming through on screen. My preference for this palette is to use them all at the same time, and I did use this today as a finishing powder to give myself a little bit of luminosity. We're going out a little bit later today, and I thought it was going to look pretty good. So thank you, Karen, for number 27. I'm going to enjoy using that over the next few weeks. And Karen also chose number 44 for eyeshadow palettes, and number 44 ends up being the Masquerade palette, which I recently depotted. If you want to see the depotting video, I'll put it right here. And this is what it looks like. It's now in a colored rain magnetic palette, and which is perfect size because there are 16 shadows in the Masquerade. Look how nicely that fits in. I am probably going to focus on the top 2 rows here, but we'll do for sure a few sets of looks with this palette. Thank you so much, Karen. It is a colorful palette and I will enjoy using it. Next up, we have Steph's choices, and for a face palette, the number was 13, and 13 was the Naked Skin or Shapeshifter. And it's an interesting face palette by Urban Decay because it has 2 sides. This is the powder side, and I did use this bronzer today. That is what I have on my face. And it has a nice mirror on this side and then also a mirror on the other side. And the other side is cream products. For those of you who are curious about cream products, I'm also going to be using this palette of cream products. Last time was the Cover FX cream palette. So I'm really going to enjoy this, especially since this one also has pinker creams to work with as well. So I will definitely be using this palette, and it's good to use it because cream products don't last forever, and it is a palette that I quite enjoy, so that will be super, super nice. And for eyeshadow palettes, Steph chose number 64, which is the Huda Coral Obsessions. Now I have only done 1 look with this palette so far, so it's going to be really nice to use it again. And I did a look, and I'll put it right here, with a focus on this red. It turned out super, super well, and I am looking forward to doing more looks with this palette. So very nice for me to be pulling it back out to do a few more looks. Super, super good. And the colorful shades in here are very different from what's in the Masquerade, so they won't be competing with each other. That's really good. And last but not least, we have Susan's picks. And Susan picked something from Smashbox and something from Urban Decay. So let's talk about the face palette first. She picked the number 21, which is the Jean-Michel Basquiat face palette. And it looks like this. Hopefully the colors are coming through. And today I used 2 of the products in this palette. I used NoHo as my blush, and Now's the Time as the highlighter. And yes, I'm using a lot of these products already today, but I thought, well, I'm filming anyway. A lot of these products I can use. I'm not committed to using anything else these days right now, so why not? So I really enjoyed putting a lot of this to use right off the hop. Finally, what palette did Susan pick? Well, it looks like it was number 69, and number 69 is the Smashbox Matte Exposure. And if you are not familiar, this is the palette I am using in my Pan That palette this year. So I get to use it even more. That's great. I'll just take the brush out and show you. So I have panned 3 of the shadows already. If you're curious about my panning progress over time, I'll put the playlist right here for Pan That palette. And today I did put wheat in my crease to help set my eye primer. And that's really the only color I used today. But I think that since I've been focusing so much on this area, I think it's going to be nice to do a look with the plummy, cool side. Plum, kind of dusty rose. I think that will be nice to do a look with that. So I'm looking very much forward to using this palette with a little bit more intensity. And I might use this in conjunction with the Masquerade shadows if I want to use one pop of color and mattes for the rest of the look. I think that would be a really good combination. So that's it, 6 palettes. Let's just recap the face and eyeshadow palettes. We have the Ambient Light. We have the Naked Skin Shapeshifter palette. And we have the Jean-Michel Basquiat Quad. And for eyeshadow palettes, we have the Masquerade palette, currently in a Colored Rain magnetic palette. We have the Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions palette. And last but not least, my Pan That palette for the year, the Smashbox Matte Exposure. I am looking forward to using these palettes intensely over the next couple weeks and reporting back on what I used, how I used it, and what I thought of the experience. If you want to follow along, please take a look at my Instagram every single day when I create a look with these products. You will find it posted right there so that you can follow along quite easily and let me know what you think along the way. That'd be great. Thank you so much to the 3 lovely ladies who suggested some palettes, Karen, Susan, and Steph. Very much appreciated. And I look forward to hearing what you have to say and sharing those pictures and thoughts along the way. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every time. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.